Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I should see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. I thought the volume was a bit louder, but apparently it's not. Apparently I'm at my normal 30 out of 100 whenever I play Animal Crossing. Well, whenever I play, I suppose, any single game here on OBS. Well, no, I suppose I'm not really playing it on OBS, but, recording with OBS. You know what I mean, probably. If you don't, then, well, I suppose then you don't. Anyway, what should we talk about today? I'm not really sure. Steam Summer Sale's over, I believe. I think it's over now, at least I remember yesterday being the last day. I picked up some games, which you'll probably be seeing in the coming series once we have a previous series I've done. A lot of story games, I will say, because that's generally what I end up preferring. But anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 4:52 PM on Thursday, July 7th, 2022. Oh, you know what? Today is Tanabata today, isn't it? I feel like I've spoken about Tanabata in every single... if you don't know, as a Japanese holiday, in every single year in the previous 2 years, I've talked about it. I'm not extraordinarily familiar with the exact not technicalities but details of Tanabata, but basically it's a Japanese holiday not celebrating, but it's based off this old myth of Orihime and what's the other guy called? Princess Orihime and someone who I am going to look up right now because I cannot remember. Oh yeah, is it a Japanese festival and it's originating from a Chinese Qixi festival, which, I forgot that is actually a Chinese festival, but, it takes place because it uses on a different day because it uses a lunar calendar or a Chinese calendar rather than the actual the Roman calendar or whatever. So that's apparently taking place in August or something. And plus also, I feel like it's not celebrated as nearly as much as Tanabata is, or at least I don't remember it being really celebrated as much. But anyway, it's basically some guy who was a shepherd, and then there's some girl, she weaves clothes. I think she's a tailor, she works a loom or something, and then on this day they can be reunited on a bridge made out of doves' wings or something like that. Not decapitated doves, the doves just come together and form a bridge. And they can see each other only on this day, and then they can't for the rest of the year, or something like that. Sorry, not Roman calendar, it's a Gregorian calendar, now I think about it. Roman numerals is what I was thinking of, for no apparent reason. Yeah, anyway, it's today in Japan, trying to celebrate it on a different day, I think. I'm not really sure, hold on. I'm looking now at the Wikipedia page. It seems like it's celebrated on 2 different days in Japan? I don't really know. Oh no, I suppose this is meant to be what? I don't know. Anyway, it's a sort of day of summer festivals, which I did actually partake in one because if you don't know, quite a few years ago now. 3 years ago now? No, 5 years ago now. Oh my word, I can't believe it's been that long. I went to Japan with one of my friends, and then it was around this sort of time, July, August time, and I think we went to Japan a little bit after the Tanabata technically was over. So I remember I was I wonder if it's close enough for any of the summer festival Tanabata celebrations, such that we could actually partake in some of them. So I looked it up and I saw that it was in one small town, not that small town, it was a reasonably large town in Japan. There was a celebration. So we went to it, and I hung up a Tanabata strip and everything, where basically it's sort of just making wishes or what have you. You write down things on a slip of paper and you tie it to a piece of string. It's traditionally, I think it's meant to be a bamboo plant or something, but obviously you don't always have a load of bamboo plants everywhere. Sorry, sip of water. And if you have hundreds of thousands of people there, it's a bit unreasonable. So they hung it up and basically just a piece of string. I don't know if it's taboo in Japanese culture or even Chinese culture to say what you wished for, necessarily, but I'll tell you anyway because it hasn't happened. I certainly say, but it was quite an ambitious wish in the first place because I was I don't really know what to wish for. As I understand it, you're meant to wish for much smaller scale things. I hope I do well on my upcoming exams, or I hope I get a job promotion, etc, etc, etc. But I was just world peace on my one, which you might be that's a bit of an ambitious dream, certainly, and it is perhaps one quite unachievable in my lifetime, but still, if it does happen in future, maybe it's because of that old Tanabata wish I made 5 years ago, who knows. But it's quite nice having a sort of like wishing festival. If anything, like I'm not actually a parent, obviously, but you know, coming at it from a perspective of a parent, I feel like it'd be a good thing to celebrate. You know, take your children to. You can go and see what your children wish for, and you can like sort of try and make it come true if it's at or feasibly within your power or not. Certain things are, certain things aren't, obviously. You know, certain things like, I hope I get a new like shiny bike for my birthday, and you'll be like, oh, fantastic, I can do that. Or, you know, if it's something like, I hope, I don't know, I get visited by Emma Watson or something on my birthday, you might be like, a little bit harder to swing, but, you know, perhaps you can get like a cameo or something from her. I don't know why that's my perspective. I suppose that sort of ruins the magic of Tanabata in the first place. But it's meant to be like, you know, you make wishes and that sort of thing. You know, making wishes is quite a common sort of thing which happens in a lot of holidays, isn't it? Well, actually, no, is that necessarily true? Obviously, you've got Tanabata. But that's not really celebrated in the Western world. So perhaps that's, you know, a moot point. What do you make wishes on? You know, like birthdays, obviously you make wishes, you know, blow up the candles. You make a wish. You can't tell anyone your wish. I mean, hope it comes true. Obviously, you know, despite the fact I like to be all, well, I'm not really all that mystical, but I do like the idea of, you know, like destiny and fate and karma and all that, despite the fact not super believing in them. You know, it's, as I say, I talked about it before, you know, I have sort of like an optimistic, nihilistic viewpoint on the world, where it's like, the world doesn't really care about these things. There's no sort of like grand order or grand fate or something controlling the strings or anything like that, but, you know, you certainly got the power to make things happen in your own right. And what have you. But, you know, it's a bit of like not a fatalistic argument, but it's a bit of putting a bit of a pessimistic spin on the entire thing, which is not exactly what I was intending. What I was saying is, like, you know, you make wishes on a birthday cake or that sort of thing. You can't tell anyone about the wishes you make, otherwise it might not come true or something. Which, if anything, I'd wager that it probably comes true more often if you do actually tell people what you wish for, you know, because, you know, when you make those wishes, normally you're a kid, you can tell your parent, and if you have a reasonable wish, they can make it come true, or at least do so in the best of their capabilities, provided, you know, the parent would hopefully want, you know, their child to be happy and seek to do their best to, you know, fulfill their wishes. That's my wager. Who knows if that's how it is. But, you know, it's also, I suppose, tied in with the power of positive thinking, isn't it? But, you know, like, if you hope, I hope I'll be, like, I'll become smarter or something. Maybe, you know, by holding on to that wish, I suppose, in your heart, it encourages you to, like, study hard or something, or, you know, develop good learning habits, or, you know, find a fascination that you really, stick with, and thus fuels your, you know, energy to, I suppose, learn and become a better learner in some aspects. And, you know, that it sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, sort of like placebo, but rather than placebo having such a medical effect, as a placebo of psychological and or physical happenings, I suppose. Well, what else do you make wishes on? I feel like you make wishes on Christmas, right? But I don't really know when you're meant to make the wish for Christmas. You have like a Christmas wish, isn't it? It's kind of like Christmas list. Maybe I'm getting that confused. I feel like it's a thing with Christmas. I don't know why. Isn't it like a classic thing in movies, especially those like cheesy Hallmark Christmas movies, where, you know, you like standing in front of a big tree in like the centre of town lit up or something. You just be like, I wish my Christmas wish was to see their love this year or something, and then they're like, and then you just hear a voice being like, I don't know, it's normally some sort of witty retort. It's a bit difficult to come to a witty retort off the top of my head. And they turn around, whoa, their lover is standing right behind them. It turns out they didn't get on that flight to, you know, go back to some other country to get like a job promotion or something. I don't know, that's how Hallmark Christmas movies work. I feel like I'm a bit out of season talking about Christmas in July, but still. And that happens if they get reunited, and it's all, you know, all's well that ends it, or happily ever after, something like that. But there's not really like a set time in Christmas you're meant to actually make a wish, as opposed to like birthdays where you know, blow out the birthday candles. That's when you're meant to make a wish. Also, we should be running up and down the beach, I forgot, because we wished on the Star Island yesterday. The Star Fragment Island yesterday, so we got to... Oh, now I think about it. Did we get a recipe from the Star Fragment Island? When did we get all these recipes? My word. I'm not sure if we did or not, but, you know. Oh, probably what happened is we, you know, got the recipe and it was a duplicate, because most of them kind of are duplicates at this point. Anyway, that's not the point. The point I had, which I can't remember what my point was, actually. What was my point? I don't even remember what my point was. My point was something. You don't have like a specific time to actually wish on Christmas. Do people wish on New Year's? I mean, there's New Year's resolutions, which I suppose sort of fulfill a similar sort of niche, or the same sort of niche. But it's not really the same sort of dealio, is it? I mean, when do you make your New Year's? Well, I suppose as soon as it becomes a New Year, but it's not like when fireworks go off on a London night or something, or replace whatever I just said for whatever's relevant to your country. It's not like that's when there's sort of the opportunity to be like, that's when I'm meant to make my wish, my dream, or whatever. I mean, I suppose you sort of like imagining a New Year's party being like, what's your you talk to other people, what's your resolution? So if anything, yeah, kind of New Year's resolutions are meant to be shared. If anything, that sort of goes quite counter to the idea of wishes. When else can you make wishes? Like, I can't think of another holiday for wishes. We should bring Tanabata over to the Western world. I just think it's quite a nice holiday. If anything, it feels, I don't know, it feels like quite a relaxing holiday, which is when I feel it's a bit of a niche. I feel like I feel like there's a gap in the market, because most holidays are kind of like party celebrating. New Year's, Christmas is kind of relaxing in its own right, but kind of not relaxing for different reasons, I suppose. But it's emphasis on family time, togetherness. Halloween's all about frights and delights. Easter is kind of just sort of about like eating chocolate at this point. The modern Easter, of course, not. By the way, in all of these, I'm of course talking about the modern interpretations of the holidays rather than necessarily the rooted traditions of them. As it goes, traditions, sort of shape the foundation of things, and they sort of get mutated with time as they evolve with culture and the passage of time in the first place. But, Tanabata's quite a relaxing one. I mean, I say that, it does take place in a giant, like, summer festival, I suppose, which, I guess isn't over relaxing. But I don't know, there's a sort of, like, hint of mysticism and romanticism, I suppose, when it comes to it, with, like, writing your wish and tying it to a bamboo tree and hoping it comes true, etc., etc. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing, at least. I mean, that's not that uncommon a thing in the Western world, isn't it? Like tying fortunes, or tying, little notes to a tree or something. Or maybe I'm making that up. Maybe I am truly getting confused, because that's the thing in Japan as well, isn't it? Like, you get, like, fortunes from a shrine or whatever, and if it's a bad fortune, you tie it off onto, like, a tree. Well, it was meant to be a tree, but, then that started becoming, like, when, the people who, like, looked after the shrines, didn't want all these fortunes tied on a tree for fair enough reason, so now you like tie it to like some wires on a rack, which I have done, by the way. Went to a shrine in Japan, picked out a fortune. It was a bad luck fortune, so I tied it to a little wire rack to dissuade that bad fortune from coming true or something. Amusingly, this was ages ago, before COVID was a thing, but amusingly, that was like one time during a holiday I started feeling like starting to get a little bit ill. So actually, that was my trial run of actually wearing a mask, I suppose, everywhere. I wore a mask around that day, and it was utterly boiling hot. Like, it's honestly surprisingly hot right now in the UK, despite the fact it's like 5 PM. Hold on, let me have a bit of a look at the old weather app and see what the temperature is right now. It's like, why is it so hot right now? What's that? Revolut notification. Ignore that. 24 degrees right now. What on earth? How's it 24 degrees right now? How's this even happened? Oh, thank you for that weather app. But I don't know. There's just, I mean, I guess we already have quite a romantic, I was going to say TV show, that's not the right word. A romantic holiday with, of course, Valentine's Day. But it's the sort of thing where it's like, it's not the same feel, But the mysticism, the romanticism's there, obviously, on Valentine's Day, but it's not the sort of mysticism. The sort of, like, desires and hopes and dreams. I guess that's what, a holiday to express your dreams and hopes and wishes. Especially when you're younger and that sort of thing. I mean, I suppose you still have them. So it was a bit of a macabre joke. Oh, not macabre, but of a pessimistic joke. What's this? A cancer fragment? I don't remember, honestly. Ever since the Star Fragment Islands got introduced, we've really been getting quite a lot of the other fragments of their own right. What else was I going to say? I don't know. Let me have a sip of water, because I am quite thirsty. I do want Gulliver to wake up, though, so I don't have to open this bottle one-handed, but again, I still have to open it one-handed. It's just a nice holiday. Perhaps I am romanticising it, But I'm sure if you like were born in Japan or China or whatever country might celebrate, so you might be like, oh, it's not that interesting. You know, what I prefer is like, you know, we got all American Thanksgiving or something as a holiday. You know, it's a holiday all about eating like huge amounts of meals and food or whatever, right? I mean, kind of, isn't it? Well, it's meant to be about togetherness and giving thanks, of course, but also, you know, what's the word? The piece de resistance of the entire holidays, of course, you know, eating like a giant turkey or whatever. And stuffing yourself to the brim, isn't it? Which we don't really have, I suppose, here in UK. Well, I mean, I guess Christmas is kind of the equivalent of that, but, you know, in America you have both Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't really know what any UK-specific holidays are, now I think about it. I can only think of Burns Night for some reason, but that's a Scottish holiday. And it's not really one celebrated in England. I don't even know what it's about. It's something to do... It's like 2 days before... it's 5th of November is probably... Oh, actually, now I think about it, 5th of November is definitely... Fireworks Day is definitely... a UK-specific holiday, isn't it? Because it's about Guy Fawkes, you know, Guy Fawkes, and he's always been named one, but it's always him and like 11 other people, you know, attempting to sort of commit treason on the Houses of Parliament. And for some reason, we celebrate it by also, you know, creating explosions, just like Guy Fawkes would have wanted. And I don't really know, and I suppose I don't really follow the logic of how it came about, but I suppose it's more like a making a mockery of, you know, his failed attempt, if anything. I don't know. I just want more like public holidays with like, you know, it's not I want more public holidays, it's I want more public holidays with like strong themings around them, you know, central core ideas and tenets. How is this a Manila clam surrounding their sort of like ideology, you know? It's a nice one because it's got the central core premise of, you know, like, I suppose reuniting and making wishes, or, you know, from my outsiders. But another Manila clam, are you out of your mind? At least from my sort of like a naive Western perspective. That's what I've interpreted it as. I can't believe we've had so many Manila clams. I wonder how the computer part, like spawning, works. Because it might be they've all chosen to spawn over here when I walked past them originally. In the ground. Where did this come from? Was this always here? Dunno. I guess that's what just spawned off camera. But nothing's like coming out, spurting out of a beach like this. Heavens knows how a computer part does it, to be honest. I mean, a Manila clam I can certainly see how it does it. I'm not sure if Manila clam is one of the ones which do it. I think like a geoduck or something is mainly does it. Maybe I got that wrong. Excuse me. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of like what I was going to say about wishes. What did I used to wish for when I was younger? I actually don't remember what I used to wish for when I was younger. I'm sure they're very arbitrary things, but I can actually legitimately not remember any of my birthday wishes. I suppose perhaps it's because I don't place too much faith in them in the first place. Well, I like the idea of them. I suppose my brain rooted in the idea of practicality and, you know, evidentiality is sort of just like, well, it doesn't really happen unless I make it happen in the first place, or it happens, you know, per chance in the first place. I mean, I'm trying to think. I can't imagine, you know, young me would have wished for physical objects and gifts. Like even now, I'm not like super, you know, at least talking to my friends, and compared to the average person, I'm not like a huge person who goes crazy over like gifts or anything. You know, if I get a gift, it's more sort of like the emotion behind it, which matters more to me than necessarily the physical actual object itself, unless the physical object itself is like particularly useful in a certain category or in a certain way. But I'll be like, oh, you know, this is quite a nice sort of gift in the end, a practical one, you know. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like if I was like, oh, you know, someone bought me like a bicycle or something, I'll be like, you know, practical gift. Especially because my old bicycle's not broken or anything. It's just the tires. One of the tires is flat, and I've just never changed it because I haven't needed a bicycle. Another Manila clam. Because I haven't needed a bicycle for ages. 4, so we need one more. Interesting. So I can't imagine young me wished for physical things. Unless I did. Maybe I might have asked me like, oh, I wish I could have this video game, but you know. I suppose, you know, younger me, you might not believe it, is I suppose even more like logically based and practical, I suppose, than me right now. You know, so I was probably be like, oh, you know, I shouldn't be wishing for that. If anything, I should be wishing for like an increase in pocket money, so I can use that pocket money to buy certain video games, which is basically what I did for my pocket money. I was basically, I like never spent it. New Nintendo game comes out, consider buying it, and then, you know, purchase it, you know, like 2 years later, I suppose, when it goes on sale. That's basically what I did. I don't know. Would I wish for something emotional, like happiness, love? I don't think I've ever wished for love. That seems a bit cheesy, and I don't know. Something about it feels weird, despite the fact it's probably one of the better things to actually wish for, because it's so mystical in the first place, you know? It's not like you're wishing for love, it's more like you're wishing for the opportunity to love and be loved, right? Like a relationship in the first place, isn't it? But something about it feels sort of like weird. To me personally, like wishing for it to happen like in actuality. Sort of like I'm cheating fate or destiny. Or like I'm trying to make my own destiny. But it's not something really you make your own destiny. You sort of just like cast your net out there to see like who you might catch. I don't know, it's such a weird way to describe like, you know, a dating scene or something. I don't know, it just feels a bit weird to me, I suppose. Not that like I have anything against love or like relationships or romanticisms or anything like that. It's just like, I don't know. I suppose it's just never crossed my mind to wish for it specifically from like a birthday wish or anything like that. Not I'm going to say no if, you know, the opportunity arises, of course, but I don't know what I'd wish for now. What did I wish for my last birthday? I legitimately have no recollection of what I wished for. I must have wished for something, probably. You know, and I do like to at least partake in these sort of like tradition-esque things. Why is it so hot right now? I think I need to tie up my hair. The back of my neck is getting, you know, I mean, it's not quite getting too sweaty, but it is getting to that point where it's just like, oh, you know, I can feel it heating up. What's doing sell this. I believe he's let's not sell that. We can sell some of the star fragments. We have so many star fragments in our inventory. Hello. What's this? I got a text message. Is it because I got a doctor's appointment? That's true. I do have a doctor's appointment tomorrow for some more blood tests. Amusingly, this is not for my blood test one. Oh no. Wait, I got one early. Oh no, I got them both at the same time. Just gotta remember. Did I put it in my calendar? Make sure I put it in my calendar. And I did in fact put it in my calendar, just to make sure. Just check I got it right. 8th of July. Fantastic. You might be like, why do you have one? I actually booked these appointments today, and it turns out it was a cancellation tomorrow. I was like, oh, that's convenient. Yeah, I'll take that cancellation time. So that's what I'm, you know, going to do tomorrow. I forgot what I was going to say. I know, but I certainly need more water. I'm thirsty. What did I used to wish for when I was younger? I really couldn't tell you. It almost feels a bit sad that I can't tell you. It'd be like, oh, I had no like childhood dreams when I was a wee lass. I know I spoke like that, but still. It almost feels a bit disappointing. I can't think of anything I used to wish for. Maybe I used to wish for like I'd do well in like exams about something. That doesn't really sound like something I'd wish for. I suppose I had quite confidence, a reasonable amount of confidence in myself to do well in exams. Maybe I just wished for like, maybe I did wish for like material gain, or like money or something. I probably wish for something. You know what does sound like me? I probably wish for something very generic. Something just like a happy and healthy life. It's a very sort of like typical like sort of blessing that you say unto others in like Chinese or something. You know, like Shensi Jin Kang. I don't remember what one for good fortunes is. But just stuff like that, you know, very sort of generic things of like, hopefully that will help benefit my living experience, if I wanted to put this in the weirdest way possible. That's probably the sort of thing I'd wish for, you know. I can see it. I'm channeling younger me, you know, like 10-year-old me being like, oh, you know what? I want to wish for something which is more adult-like or something. So I probably want to wish for big overarching sort of wishes rather than like things which I probably sort of childish, as like wishing for toys or money or anything like that. That's my guess. And I do know myself pretty well. I like to think. I suppose it'd be a bit bizarre if I didn't. I do know myself reasonably well, but it's probably my prediction of what I would have wanted when I was younger. Well, at least what I would have wished for. Is it necessarily what I wanted? Well, yeah, technically. It's not like I would like particularly wish to not have a happy life. That seems like, you know, quite a bad thing to wish for, but you know what I mean. Was it necessarily my priority at the time? I don't know. It seems a bit lame that if you tell anyone your wish for it, that the wishes don't come true, isn't it? Anyway, you wish upon a star. I must say, I've seen very few shooting stars in my life, so I'm not sure how people even wish on them in the first place. Like, for one, but they're not as slow as they are in Animal Crossing. They're just like bam, and they're gone. They're in the sky for like less than half a second. Unless you're watching a meteor or something, in which case I guess they're up there for quite a long time. But shooting stars are really, really fast. But I do remember, the only times I feel like I've actually seen, and legitimately seen a shooting star is one time when I was younger, you know. I can't remember why, but when, you know, I was just like chilling in a bed with my sister. We were very young, we were like 6 or something. And we're watching the night sky and you know, just like watching, you know, stars, shooting stars fly by. We were making wishes. That's actually a very fond and sentimental memory I have. It's a very nice time. I can't tell you what I wished for, but because it's a thing where you're meant to make your wish before at least this is what I had when I was a child. You're meant to make a wish like as soon as you see the star, but it only the wish will only come true if you make a wish while the star's still in the sky, right? As soon as it disappears, then you know, hopefully you finish saying your wish by then. Otherwise, you're sort of like out of luck. But it's too difficult. You don't have enough time to make that sort of wish. So I'm running out of things to talk about. I'm sort of spinning my words. Oh, hello. So I'm sort of just saying whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what I'd wish for now, to be honest. If anything, I suppose I can't tell you, so, you know. I suppose you will never know. Anyway, should we round off this episode here? It's quite hot, honestly, so I just want to sort of vibe out. Also, I need to finish writing my story for my writing group. I haven't finished it yet. Luckily, none of them probably watch this video, so they'll never know that I did it so last minute. Anyway, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscriptions, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me, Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.